We're nearly there, we've nearly done it. If you've watched any of the other videos, thank you. If you've just watched this one, this is the culmination of, I don't know how long. Yeah, if you've just watched this video, this is the culmination of a 10-day trip. Stop and share this, let me turn that music down. I'm just driving down this A road, or B road, and there was a car pulled over right into the side of the hedge, and the passenger door was open. No one in the driving seat. So I pulled up to see if they needed any help. Couldn't see anyone, so I slowly creeped past the car. There was a woman. My God, look at that castle in the distance. Good morning today, whatever it is, on my East Coast trip. Behind me is Whitley Bay. This was an impromptu stop. Look at this, St Mary's Lighthouse. It's low tide at the minute, so you can walk out there. I'm not going to, because I don't know when the tides change. What a fantastic bit of coastline. Absolutely glorious start to the day. Let's get going. Okay, next stop, just outside Whitley Bay, is a place called Seaton Sluice. Look at that for a fantastic building. The Tower House. Built in 1720. That's an art gallery, but that is not what I'm here to see. I'm here to see the Cut. And this is the Cut. One of the smallest little harbours that I've seen. And again, this is just a flying visit, just to capture some of the unseen parts of the coast, or maybe less seen parts of the coast. You've got around the edge there, cliffs, got a pub there. What a fantastic little fishing harbour. And then just overlook, built into the wall, is a Little Mermaid. Under the sea. What an idyllic little place to live Seaton Sluice looks like. Wow. It's that pub as well. Built 1764. Some real history if you go looking for it. And then you've got that fantastic looking pub and hotel, the Waterford Arms, 1899. What a gorgeous looking building. Anyway, the sun is shining. It's only just before 8 AM. Let's get on the road. Next stop on this trip is Cresswell beneath the sands. Now, I'm not actually here for the beach. I'll show you why I'm here in a second. But there is an information panel I've just walked past that says when the tide is low, remains of 7,000-year-old tree stumps have been found here, and including some preserved remains of red boar footprints, which is quite cool. They also found a burial, I can't remember what it was called, a burial site, let's say, with remains in dating back up to 2400 BC. So quite a beautiful little spot. And look, the beach goes on forever. But that is not why I've pulled up here. I have pulled up here for that building in the distance, Cresswell Tower. Right, so I'm in. This is Cresswell Tower, a Pele Tower, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is like a miniature castle. And this was built in the late 14th century as defence against the Scots. There's quite a bit of sad history here as well, actually. I was just reading on the wall, one of the daughters of the Cresswell family fell in love with a Danish guy, and when he landed ashore, her brothers killed him. It says she died of a lonely heart, which I assume means she took her own life. I don't know if we can get in. Oh, it's a shame, innit? It would have been cool to get on the roof. Apparently it's hollow in the middle. It's very much a defensive structure. A pretty cool building. Shame we can't get in though. They would have had a fantastic view. Let me show you the view they would have had. Okay, before I stand and show you the view, look at this. It's an old horse and carriage platform to enable people to get up and down into the carriages, but you can't really see. I mean, you can see the ocean and the sky are very similar colour today. You can see the ocean in the distance there, but those houses wouldn't have been here. You can see the mud flats where I was at the beginning of this part of the video. They would have seen for miles, especially with another 5-6 metres of height. Incredible. And then it also says when the threat subsided, they built a mansion here as well. And that's all that remains of the mansion, the doorway. The rest of it's gone. Another fascinating bit of history. It says there's a walled garden. I don't know what the walled garden is. It opens at 9 AM, it's open. I'm assuming it's going to be a garden within a wall. Look at this. So this garden, I'll go in a second, was once and used to provide fruit, vegetables and flowers for Cresswell Hall, which is half a mile from here. Cresswell Hall is actually derelict, and that's what I originally came to see. You can access it via a path, but there was a green Land Rover there doing some woodwork, so I had to skip it unfortunately. But yeah, that is all derelict and easily accessible as well. Wow, what a nice garden. So this states the garden was originally put here in around the mid 1700s. And they've been able to date it by the brick structure. Oh look, a beehive. Warning, beehive, do not approach. Wow, there's loads of them. Obviously it's a beehive. Let me zoom in. You see them all going in and out of the hive? Hives, there's 3 of them. Just had a flashback to my Jaywick honey that I've not tried yet, from that local beekeeper in Jaywick. So you see the holes in the wall? They're all along. They were to allow hot air to circulate. There was a glass house on the other side, and they also had, there's a spot there, look, and you can see a better example here, here, and here. Hopefully they show on the camera. Those were movable bricks, so they could control the temperature of air that went around the glass house. So the walls of this garden are so high, not for defence from Scottish people, like the tower was built, but for defence from the climate and from the salty sea air. So it's designed to keep this place as a bit of a sun trap and keep the wind and the salty air at bay. When they took this garden on in 2019, it was totally derelict and overgrown. It took them 5 years to reach this stage. Right, if you are visiting, do donate. It's led by volunteers probably one of the nicest little gardens I've seen, to be honest with you. So, yeah. Look at that beast in the distance. What is that? Oh my God, look at that weir as well. Look at that castle. Wow. So apparently it opens in 5 minutes. I really hope it does. Right, they open the gates bang on 10, just as more people are arriving. Parking's £3.50, which lasts all day. You need to produce a ticket beyond this point. I'll purchase a ticket. Wow. Wow. So that's the entrance. I believe this was built in the 12th century, but this says in the 15th century the whole community lived within this walls. The lady who just admitted me, it was £12 to get in, has suggested I start within the main building and then have a explore around. So obviously I'm going to go off track, aren't I? 12th century, parts of the original castle are here. We can't get up the stairs. That's because there's nowhere to go. I assume these would have curved around. Oh yeah, they do, look, they curve around and up. I can understand why that's out of bounds. I can understand that. So you can have an audio tour like Scarborough Castle, and I've opted against it because I just like to have a little wander. Unlike Scarborough Castle though, so Scarborough Castle had lots of little information points on, but they would just say 1, 2, 3, which must have been tied in with the audio. This has got proper information. So this little area was the buttery, called the buttery because butts of alcohol were stored here. Gosh, these are steep. Oh. So you may just see a glimmer of water down there. They're apparently fish ponds they used to catch and salt fish, which the place was well known for, apparently. So that is the Great Tower, and it's one of medieval England's most important surviving buildings. In effect, a castle within a castle, and it provided more sophisticated accommodation and dining quarters. Oh God. Oh, it's an interesting piece of artwork showing the Great Tower. Though why it's hinged up, I'm not sure. Makes it very difficult to see, but it gives you a little bit of an unusual perspective of where different rooms were. This is an impressive building. Okay, overlooking the Bailey. And the Bailey is a name given to the space inside of a castle where everybody else would have lived. Oh look, there's an underground section. What can you see? Wow. So this was the great chamber where they would relax, play games. In fact, look, there's an artist's impression of some rich people relaxing by the fire. What a fireplace that is. Does it go up? I can't get in there. So this was an old church. It's interesting that it's underground. Said building, it was never completed. Oh. It was also believed to have been a burial ground for the Percy family, as I say, or going to be used. So this is the side that they believe Henry IV's cannons obliterated, leading to the castle's surrender. Absolutely crazy, isn't it, that 600 years ago a king would have been in front of the camera, well, his army would have been, and probably he would have been as well, firing cannonballs into this building. I find that absolutely mind-blowing. Hope one day we get a time machine that we can use just to go back and observe history. It'd be incredible to witness, but not interfere. Yeah, look. You can see where the portcullis would have come down. Barricading the gate. That's pretty cool. Very cool. And then of course, like all good castles, you've got a moat running around the sides. So that was Warkworth Castle. Stop and share this, let me turn that music down. I'm just driving down this A road, or B road, and there was a car pulled over right into the side of the hedge, and the passenger door was open. No one in the driving seat. So I pulled up to see if they needed any help. Couldn't see anyone, so I slowly creeped past the car. There was a woman having a poo behind the passenger car door. My God, look at that castle in the distance. So this is the castle route, and I can see why. Look at that. So I think this will be the dearest castle I've ever been in. It's £6 to park, £18.75 for an adult to get in. So this is Bamburgh Castle. And look at the ocean, how blue it looks here. You've got a lighthouse in the distance on the rocks. The drive here along the coast, you can see the road in the distance. The scenery is amazing. £18.75. Let's have a look what we've got. There's a cool timeline of the history of the area. A lot of the places so far are out of bounds though, which frustrating. This is an iron mortar. I think they all are. Oh, no, they're cannons. These would have been used to lob bombs hundreds of meters, not thousands. Guys, look at this view. Look at this view. You've got the castle behind me, but look at this. This might be the best view of the entire trip. Wow. Right, so the cafe is there. I'm going to head there first of all. The family were custodians. I wonder if they live here. I bet they probably do, don't they? It's got pillaged. £12. What a cool area to eat though. It's the old stables. God, the view, man. I'll never get tired of this view. One of the best views I've seen in the whole of Britain. That cannon is from one of the ships of the Spanish Armada between 1650 and 1715 in terms of age. What have I paid? £19 Parking was £6 quid, £25. Food, £35. The location is amazing, but maybe when I get in there, I'll be feeling a bit more positive about this place. This is an old windmill. Again, closed. Let's go into the main part of the building. So I haven't actually looked this side, but look at that. I assume that's a cricket. Yeah, it is a cricket ground. You've got the boundary. Tennis courts there, children's play area. And if you've got dogs, this place is dog friendly. There's certain parts indoors where they're not allowed. But considering everywhere I've tried to get in is closed, you'd probably be alright. So I've not been up there. There's surely going to be access up there. Wow, it looks impressive from here. Look at the stained glass windows. The couple in front of me just tried to get into the keep, and the guy's going, what's the point in coming to a bloody castle if you can't get in there? So I'm in, apparently there's 14 staterooms to go through.
So let's move on now to another artifact from roughly the same year.
Wow.
This stone fragment is part of an intricately carved left arm of the throne, also known as a gift sword in Anglo-Saxon poetry. This type of sword throne is also being used.
Private apartment.
My husband had taken part in a rebellion against him, so Rufus was never going to be countenanced. I never saw a bird again after that. My marriage was annulled and I had to marry his brother. That's shocking.
These are all clothing and props used in the Last Kingdom. I'll give my thoughts when I get outside.
So basically, that is when you hammered on those triangles through the holes that were in that, with it in the shots. Now, there's nothing much to get out through that place. So you hammered up slide,
Arrow with enough force will split it.
Here's the dungeon. It's not a dungeon, is it? It's not a dungeon. Get me out of this bodgy castle. Just get me out of this place. What a bodgy castle. Let me get back. I'm gonna get out. There's nothing else to see, and then I'll tell you why. Right, I'm out. Why is that a bodgy castle? It's not a castle, is it? For starters, I mean, obviously it is a castle, but it's not. It's a manor house. It's a country home. It's a private residence that they've turned into a way of making money. Now, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but you couldn't get into 60% of it, even though it's all signposted. The doors are locked, or they're roped off, or gated off. The tour that you can go through, it's just all based on the Armstrong family, which I don't know who they are. I don't care. It's not the history that I want, a family bloody tree. And there was a family tree. I caught it on the camera, you know. And the biggest thing, the biggest bugbear I have with that is it was just a display of absolute wealth. There is millions and millions of pounds of artifacts, clothing, jewellery, paintings. Not interested. Not interested. Not interested, Bamburgh Castle, you hear me? Right, I will say a couple of positives as I leave. There were an abundance of staff on hand who were answering people's questions really eagerly. That was good. No, that's it. Right, I have just checked and I'm 26-minute drive from the Scotland-England border, which will mark the end of this journey. So that's where I'm going to head now. Let's go. Guys, see that? That right there is the border to Scotland. Quite possibly literally the end of the road. I'm going to see if I can get to the coast from here. So this was actually a nightmare to reach, and I'll explain why in a second. In fact, I'll explain why now. You can probably see in the distance there's a farm, and then behind that there's a hotel. You can't park there. There's no way through. It says there's a viewing area here. Is this it? You can't see anything. No, it's all fenced off. Well, this is where I am. There. And there's the border. Well. What an anticlimactic end to a hell of a road trip. The Scottish flag on the sign going north, the English flag heading south, and I can't reach the end point. That's quite a fitting end, isn't it? That's a wrap. If you've made it this far, thank you for joining me. That is it. Well, cheers guys. Best drive home, ain't I? Come on, you didn't think I was going to travel the length of England and give up in the last 200 metres? There's the motorway. Some kind soul on Google Maps has put the coordinates of this place into the review of where I need to get to. Thank you to that person. Now, I've got to get there. I don't want to do any climbing. Does this open? Yes, it does. We're nearly there. We've nearly done it. If you've watched any of the other videos, thank you. If you've just watched this one, this is the culmination of, I don't know how long. Yeah, if you've just watched this video, this is the culmination of 10-day trip. Look at this though. Look at this. And there's no one here. That car park, the first free car park. Look at them sheep right on that cliff's edge. Oh my God. Look at them. That can't be the cliff edge that they're walking up. I don't want to make anyone jump. Ah, they're going down there for a little drink. Look at that water. That is crystal clear. Right, as scenic as that spot is, I need to get further down. So by my estimations, probably got 400-500 metres to go. Look at that sheep just chilling. Look at this little cove. Man, that water is so clear. Fly seagull. So it's a bit further than 500 metres. Quite a bit further. No way, look at this. Oh, I can't get that close. Oh. Do you know what? Last night I had two dreams, both falling off of something. The first one, I'm going to step away actually. Standing there gave me the flashback of the dream. The first one, I was sort of scrambling to stay on something, I can't remember what now. And I just remember I need to get, look, I'm quite far away, but the feeling of the dream is making me feel unwell. And I just remember that feeling of, oh my God, I'm gone. And then I started to fall and woke up. What's this? The Cuddy Trail. The Cuddy Trail, in history, there were several coal pits on the shore and in the cliffs. The cliffs still bear the scars of ropes and chains which were used to lift sacks to the bottom of the Cuddy track. A cuddy is Scottish for a donkey, which were used to transport coal and fish from the shore to Lamberton and the Great North Road. Man, that would have been some graft, wouldn't it? I see, so this is the route they would have brought stuff up. I wonder why it's fenced off. It looks a pretty easy route down. Maybe it doesn't. How sheer's the drop? Bloody Nora. Heights are a weird one, eh? Like, when I was in the military, I used to, a few times, I'd be in helicopters. Lynx helicopters, which are the real lightweight ones. And there'd be 6 of us in there. And I'd be sat out of the door. And, you know, it'd be bending, so you're literally looking down. And that didn't give me any, I don't know, something about being stood on the edge of something. I just feel drawn to it. What a weird thing to feel, to be drawn to something harmful. Like, you think your body would push you the opposite way. Jeez, man, that is a view. Guys, we've made it. I'll go to there in a second. But that fence line, that's the border. We've bloody done it, guys. We've done the whole of the east coast of England. Almost came so far to did not finishing. That's the border, guys. English border. See, I don't mind here, I can hold on to the fence. Scotland, England. Scotland, England. I lean over the border, half in Scotland. Scott is half in Scotland, half in England. Well, let's go and have a look at what these signs say. Ah, there's a railway sign. Let me zoom in. You probably see that, but British Railways, England, Scotland, England, Scotland. They just went into England. I'm such a geek. So yeah, if you follow your sat nav, it brings you out to that farm there, and they are not appreciative of people pulling up in their farmyard. Yeah, I think this wraps this whole series of videos up. Do I have anything profound to say? No. In fact, I do. I don't know if it's profound or not. If you're watching this, get out there yourself. You know, it doesn't have to be a grand touring the coast sort of venture. There's plenty of groups on Facebook, hiking groups, you know, stuff like that for people who don't have friends who are into the outdoors, and they'll do group walks and meets for like-minded people. It doesn't have to be hiking. Mo, my barber, and sorry Mo if you ever see this, I betrayed you and got my hair cut elsewhere on this trip. Mo, he's got chronic back pain. He just recently completed his PADI scuba diving course. You know, now he's looking at going on holiday somewhere warm to go scuba diving. The only thing holding any of us back from doing anything is us. You know, we might face lots of obstacles and lots of barriers and challenges, but normally they can be overcome, and you can tier your efforts. I mean, this trip, it's not been taxing physically, though that's not strictly true. I think all the driving's done my back in. I've averaged, what, 20,000 steps a day, which is nothing too draining, but this has been a drain financially. You know, I hate to think how much I've spent, accommodation, food, activities, you know, castles. But there's plenty out there you can do for free, and one thing I know for certain, life is short and it will pass you by before you know it, and you will be left wishing you'd done stuff. So do what you can, but don't be afraid to challenge yourself a little bit. What is next for me? Anyway, I'm waffling to myself more to keep myself company on this little walk back to the car. So I'm going to leave you with one of the best views I've seen on this trip. Let me get as close to flaming neck. I'm going to leave you with that. Appreciate you watching. Feel free, give it a like and subscribe, leave a comment. I would welcome that, even if you slate me. Mwah! Much love, everyone, and peace out.